Hey guys, and welcome back to my channel. And today's video I have one of the first available Lorcan bass mini amplifiers from Caline Technologies. A quick unboxing here. We have the amplifier itself. You're going to get your AC power adapter, and this adapter may look slightly different depending on what country you live in. And then you also get three adapters here. They're basically 2.5 millimeter to 2.5 millimeter with the right angle, and these are meant for connecting to the amplifier as a way to externally power additional effects pedals. And then finally, of course, it does have an instruction manual, multiple languages. So this is the bass version, as I mentioned, and there is a guitar version. It looks more of an orange color, and this has got different effects. So this has a compressor and a boost, but don't let the boost name fool you. This is actually a very interesting effect. The circuit is based on the CP60, or the wine cellar, kind of like a SansAmp driver clone. This is actually built into this amplifier. The compressor here is based on their CP47, their pressure tank compressor, and it's got the three same controls: volume, EQ, compression volume. And then below here on the boost, or the SansAmp driver circuit here, you have volume, a high shelving EQ, and then a harmonics control. And then finally we have a master output here, and we can engage the two effects with these two buttons here. We do have an AC adapter that you can go ahead and charge the internal battery. You get about 3 to 4 hours worth of playtime on a fully charged battery. And we also have a couple jacks here. We have a 3.5 millimeter auxiliary input that's for connecting an external music source, such as maybe like one of these Bluetooth. I can pair it with my phone or pair it with my computer and then pipe in some music here. We have a 3.5 millimeter stereo headphone out jack, and that is controlled by the master volume, as well as the line mixer out 1/4 inch here that is controlled by the master volume. And the cool thing here is that we have three 100 milliamp 9-volt outputs to power external pedals. Pretty awesome. So this is a pretty interesting product to me because, yes, it is a small mini amplifier, a desktop amplifier, but it is also a built-in effects unit where you have your compression and your boost or your drive channel here. And this could also be plugged into, if not a mixer, then you can plug it directly into a larger amplifier and you have a compressor and a boost effect pedal, and then more effects pedals to power it when you have everything set up, which I think is very interesting. Not something I would have thought of initially for it being a small amplifier. This is actually a pretty feature-packed mini amplifier when most of them just have basic EQ controls and a master volume. So what I'm going to do here is I have a couple segments here that I'm going to show you guys, get right into what does this sound like. And we're going to start off with the direct output, the line output here, 1/4 inch, that would go to my mixing board off to the left side here. And we're going to go and check out a couple different bass guitars. I have everything from a very cheap Ibanez, about $200, actually my first bass guitar, all the way up to a $2,200 Fender 5-string Ultra that is the cream of the crop in terms of Fender sound. So we'll get to see what this amplifier sounds like with the direct signal, and let's get into it. For equipment, all we're doing is we're running a drum loop machine here. It's from Flamma, to get some loop signals going and a tiny bit of drums. The Lorcan is going to be connected directly to my PV6 mixer, and then the PV6 has a USB cord that'll run right up to the camera, and we're going to run everything flat. We'll go through and change the different settings on the Lorcan and see how it sounds. After we hear the direct signals, I'll then use my instrument microphone, mic up the Lorcan, and see what that picks up in terms of how these speakers perform with some bass guitar running through them. And just so you can hear some of the dynamics without the compressor. Definitely hearing some compression there. So there's definitely a decent amount of compression going on. You hear a little bit of distortion, but not bad. That's just the compressor engaging. Try the boost. That's fun. All right, guys, to sum up my final thoughts on this little mini amplifier, I'm actually pretty impressed. The input drive stage here, or the input stage, is really optimized for passive pickup, so any bass guitar that doesn't have a battery. If you try to use an active bass guitar with an active EQ or an active set of pickups or both, it's going to drive a very hot signal. This input stage is going to distort and overdrive very easily. The only way you can compensate for that is to turn your overall volume on your guitar down so that you are not putting too hot of a signal through the signal chain here. Also on this output, 1/4-inch output here, it is an unbalanced connection. For you techies out there, if you're going to run this to a PA mixer, I would highly recommend, especially if it's far away from where the actual mixing board is, get yourself a direct box. It'll take this unbalanced signal, convert it to a balanced signal, and then you can handle any kind of potential ground loops, any kind of level mismatching. That will be the best way to interface this particular piece of equipment to a PA mixer. Drive and boost circuit, I think, is excellent. You have an abbreviated 3 control versus the 5 control on the wine cellar. That's maybe one of my most favorite features I like about it, because that's where all the tone is really coming from. Compressor dynamics, I like to have a little bit more control, but that's just me. Volume, EQ, and compression level, that is really all you need for something of this size, and it does well for what it is. I'm not the biggest fan, but it works. The overall weight of it, very, very light. I think that even with the battery inside, that you could just stuff this in your backpack really and take it wherever you want. So it's a good portability. The extra power outputs here, if you wanted to add extra pedals, awesome. More than enough power, 300 milliamps of power, and you get the wires that come with it here. I mean, what's not to love about that? The headphone jack, another technical note, it can drive studio level speakers, or headphones I mean. The studio headphones that I have are Audio Technicas, and they have a rating of 60 ohms, which is fairly high. And the higher impedance, you have to have more power in that op amp to drive it, and this has no trouble doing that. So kudos to Caline for keeping that in mind. The power brick to charge it up, that's fine. I haven't really tried using the aux, where you can pipe in music, but that's a great little jam along feature to have. And that's pretty much it, guys. I think I'm one of the first YouTubers to actually have this in my hands, and I know it was just featured over at the NAMM show over in Anaheim, California at the time of recording this video. So definitely check that out. This should be available here very soon into market if they're not available already. Again, if there's any questions or comments, please feel free. I'm very interested to see what you think when you finally do get it. And one other thing, so the guitar version is like this orange color. I'm very happy that they made this into a black color. Black just is more fashionable for everything as far as gear is concerned. The orange, I think that's part of the mystique about it, really. The orange color looks kind of like a cheap toy from the 70s, but that doesn't necessarily mean that it is cheap. It actually sounds really good. I think the color is kind of throwing a lot of people off, but that's just my opinion. Again, thank you so much for supporting the channel, guys. Really appreciate it, and thanks for watching.